This $40 air filter looks like the responsible choice. More pleats, more claims, a higher number on the package. Yet in the wrong heating and cooling system, that expensive filter can leave rooms uncomfortable while the blower fights to move air through it. The opposite advice is just as careless. A high MERV filter does not automatically choke every system, and a cheap filter is not automatically safer. MERV tells you how well a tested filter captures particles. It does not tell you whether your ductwork, blower, filter cabinet, and maintenance habits can use that particular filter well. There are 7 mistakes hiding in this one simple purchase. Find them, and you can protect both the equipment and the air moving through your home without guessing at the hardware store. MERV stands for Minimum Efficiency Reporting Value. In plain English, the higher number generally means the filter captures a greater share of smaller particles under its test conditions. That is useful information. It is not the whole decision. Air still has to pass through the filter, the coil, the blower, and every bend and restriction in the duct system. 2 filters with the same MERV rating can have different resistance. A well-designed, higher-efficiency filter may move air more easily than a poorly designed, lower-rated one. The same filter can also behave differently in 2 houses because the equipment, ductwork, face velocity, and installation are different. The Environmental Protection Agency says many residential systems can accommodate MERV 13 when the filter is changed frequently. It also says the safe maximum is system-specific, and a technician may need to confirm it. So do not shop by fear, price, or one number alone. Start with the equipment manual, the cabinet label, and the filter the system was designed to accept. If you want to change the efficiency, type, or depth, ask one better question. What resistance can this system handle when the filter is clean and when it is loaded? A 1-inch filter and a 4-inch media filter may share the same face dimensions, but they are not the same object. The deeper filter can fold much more material into the cabinet. More pleats can create more surface area for air to pass through and more room to hold dust before resistance rises. That is why a properly designed deep media filter may combine high efficiency with reasonable airflow and a longer service interval. But thickness is not an upgrade you force into a narrow slot. Bending a thick filter, leaving the door open, or improvising a cabinet defeats the design, and depth alone does not guarantee low resistance. The actual product data and systems still matter. Look at the slot before looking at the shelf. If the home has a 1-inch rack, buy for that rack unless a qualified contractor installs and verifies a compatible media cabinet. If it already has a 4 or 5-inch cabinet, do not replace its filter with a 1-inch filter and a handful of empty space. The important measurement is not how impressive the filter looks in your hand. It is how much usable media the correct cabinet gives the moving air. The large number on the frame is often a nominal size, a convenient name, not always the exact measurement. 2 filters labeled 20 by 20 by 1 can differ slightly in their actual length, width, or depth. A filter that is too large may bow or crush. One that is too small can leave a gap, and air is wonderfully lazy. If it can travel around the filter instead of through it, it will. That bypass air carries dust toward the blower and coil while the expensive media sits beside it doing less than the package promised. Before throwing away the old filter, photograph every label. Read the actual dimensions if they are printed. Check the cabinet or return grill for its own label. Seat the new filters squarely, close the cover fully, and look for an obvious gap without reaching into operating equipment. Do not pack a loose opening with a random towel, cardboard, or tape that can be pulled into the system. A damaged rack, missing cover, or persistent gap is a repair question, not a craft project. The best filter in the store cannot filter air that never passes through it. That small arrow on the filter frame is not decoration. It marks the direction the air should travel through the media. In most forced air systems, return air moves from the rooms toward the furnace or air handler, then through the blower and condition side of the system. The arrow therefore points toward the equipment or blower, not automatically up, down, left, or toward the room. Return layouts vary. A filter at a wall grill and a filter beside an air handler may face different physical directions even in the same house. Use the arrow on the old filter only if you know it was correct. Better still, find the airflow marking on the cabinet or the installation diagram in the manual. Install the filter with the frame square and the arrow following that known path. Then add the date on the visible edge. One small pencil mark does 2 jobs. It records when the filter went in, and it makes the next inspection easier than relying on memory. Change every 90 days sounds precise. Your house is not. A 1-inch filter in a home with 2 shedding dogs, wildfire smoke, heavy summer runtime, or drywall dust can load much faster than the same filter in a quiet house during mild weather. A deep media filter in a clean, well-sealed system may last much longer. What matters is the condition of the filter and the airflow burden, not the date printed in an advertisement. Energy Star recommends inspecting the filter every month during heavy heating and cooling seasons. If it looks dirty after a month, change it. At minimum, it advises changing the filter every 3 months, but that is a maintenance floor, not permission to ignore a visibly loaded filter. Begin with a monthly look. Compare the clean filter with what you see later under the same light. Notice unusual dust, a bowed frame, whistling at the grill, weaker airflow, or rooms becoming harder to condition. Those clues do not diagnose the whole system, but they are reasons to inspect the filter and call for service if the problem remains. Write the installation date on the frame and keep one replacement on hand. A habit is more reliable than a slogan. Some homes filter at a large return grill. Others filter at the furnace or air handler. Some systems are intentionally designed with more than one filter location. The mistake is adding another filter without knowing which arrangement the system expects. Every filter adds some resistance. A return grill filter plus another filter at the equipment can reduce airflow if the blower and duct system were not designed for both. It can also create a maintenance trap. One filter is changed while the forgotten filter slowly loads out of sight. Do not remove an existing filter merely because this video mentioned resistance. First, identify every filter location. Look at the manual, the service label, and any return grills. If the arrangement is unclear, ask the installer or technician which locations should contain filters and which should remain empty. One correct filtration plan is better than 2 filters installed by assumption. When a filter looks restrictive, removing it can make the airflow sound stronger. That does not make no filter a repair. Without the filter, hair, fibers, and fine dust can collect on the blower and evaporator coil. ASHRAE warns that the short-lived airflow victory can end with a contaminated coil and equipment failure. A replacement filter costs far less than cleaning or replacing what it was meant to protect. Renovation is an especially bad time to forget this. Drywall sanding and floorwork can produce more fine dust in a few days than ordinary living produces in months. Do not use the heating and cooling system as a construction dust collector. Isolate the work area, control dust at the source, follow the contractor's plan, and inspect the correct filter more often during and after dusty work. If a filter is being pulled inward, collapsing, frosting appears on equipment, the furnace trips, airflow stays weak with a clean correct filter, or the system makes a new strained sound, stop treating the filter aisle as the entire diagnosis. The ducts, coil, blower, refrigerant charge, controls, or equipment sizing may need professional attention. A filter is a maintenance item. It is not a substitute for diagnosing the system around it. Here is the field check. Turn the system off at the thermostat and let the blower stop. Photograph the old filter in place before removing it. Record the equipment model, every filter location, the nominal and actual filter size, its depth, efficiency rating, airflow arrow, and installation date. Make sure the replacement seats squarely and the cover closes without crushing the frame. Then inspect it monthly until your house reveals its real interval. Pets, smoke, renovations, long run times, and seasonal changes can shorten that interval. If you want a different MERV, filter type, cabinet depth, or multi-filter arrangement, use the manual or ask a qualified technician to verify the allowable pressure and actual system airflow. 7 mistakes become 7 checkpoints: system, size, surface, seal, arrow, load, and check. Your home may need a modest filter changed often or a deeper high-efficiency filter the system was built to use. The honest answer comes from the house, not the price tag. What size and type of filter does your home use? 1 inch at the return, a deep media cabinet, or something else? Write it in the comments. And subscribe to the Homeowner's Field Manual for practical guidance that helps your home cost less, last longer, and stay dependable.